The TSMC Empire, unraveling the hidden risks of monopoly. The semiconductor industry is currently undergoing an amazing development, spurred by tremendous technological advancements. In this ever-dynamic industry, one business, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, has emerged as a dominant power producing the vast majority of sophisticated chips on a global scale. While TSMC's achievements and contributions to the industry are unquestionably notable, the increase in dominance of a single company raises critical questions regarding its ramifications and potential threats. For today's video, we'll explore the impact it has on competition, supply chain, vulnerabilities, and why we need alternatives to ensure a diversified semiconductor industry. We will also be going over recent news among countries that are involved. Welcome to Stock Genius, where investing in generating and deepening knowledge is the norm. If you're new to the channel, hit like and subscribe for more content like this. Without further ado, let's get started. Before we get into ramifications, let's first define TSMC. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company's inexorable ascent is one of the most important and little-told stories of the globalization age. Unlike competitors such as Intel and Samsung, which continue to create and manufacture chips, TSMC is a contract manufacturer that manufactures semiconductors designed by other businesses. This foundry model's efficiency and cost savings has persuaded so many chip makers to outsource fabrication to TSMC that Taiwan now accounts for 20% of global wafer fabrication capacity, the single largest concentration in one country, and a staggering 92% of capacity for the most advanced chips. The United States' share of global semiconductor manufacturing has declined from 37% in 1990 to 12% in 2020. Certainly, the business is a global juggernaut in semiconductor industry, not just in Taiwan. The business controls 53.4% of the worldwide semiconductor production market and supplies 92% of sophisticated chips used in modern gadgets. TSMC's market dominance has propelled it into ranks of the world's most profitable firms, surpassing Tencent last year as Asia's most valuable company by market value. TSMC, along with the rest of semiconductor sector, makes for more than 15% of Taiwan's GDP, and the company accounts for nearly one-third of the value on the Taiwanese stock exchange. The crucial role that TSMC plays in modern electronics worldwide supply networks has brought a lot of money into Taiwan. As a result, the island state was able to maintain growth rates even at the height of pandemic, while other countries struggled to prevent total economic collapse. TSMCs and the semiconductor industry enjoy a special position in Taiwan, both among the government and among the people on streets, said Tsai Cheng-ye, who works with citizens of the earth, Taiwan, and focuses on the semiconductor industry. What TSMC requires, TSMC obtains, he said, adding that with the company's current growth trajectory, it is expected to consume 10% of Taiwan's electricity output by 2030. With the semiconductor industry thrown into geopolitical struggle between the United States and China, being regarded as the fierce front in the new Cold War between China and the US, observers have referred to TSMC as a silicon shield for Taiwan. While many Taiwanese refer to the company as Sacred Mountain that protects the nation, much like how the peaks in central Taiwan protect the urban centers in the western lowlands from the worst devastation. When TSMC has a monopoly, cheap designers may find themselves with less bargaining strength. They can have few options, making it harder to negotiate acceptable terms and pricing. Furthermore, TSMC's dominance may hinder chip designers from investigating alternate manufacturing choices or seeking out new technologies, which might inhibit innovation. These limiting effect in innovation not only limits individual companies' growth potential, but also limits the options available to the customers. The semiconductor supply chain is vulnerable since it is dependent on TSMC as a key provider of sophisticated chips. Natural disasters, geopolitical unrest, or production delays are just a few examples of problems that could affect TSMC's manufacturing capacity and have a significant impact on the sectors that depend on these chips. The current global chip scarcity is a harsh warning of the dangers of relying too heavily on one supplier for essential components. Consumer electronics, car production, data centers, and the other industries might all experience severe disruptions as a result of TSMC's operations being disrupted. Additionally, the market dominance of a single business like TSMC may deter new competitors from entering the semiconductor industry. It can be difficult to compete with TSMC's established infrastructure, knowledge, and capabilities. It might be difficult for aspiring chip manufacturers to establish themselves as serious rivals, perhaps raising an entry hurdle and reducing the industry's total variety. This lack of competition harms the semiconductor ecosystem general health as well as the market's potential for growth and innovation. With all of these potential risks at hand, the semiconductor industry must aggressively look for alternatives and promote a more diversified environment in order to reduce the risks brought on by dominance of a single corporation. Multiple chip makers competing for customers can strengthen the supply chain and promote innovation. Governments and industry organizations can support programs that encourage the expansion of alternative chip fabrication businesses by funding R&D and offering incentives for new entrants to succeed. More than ever, governments, chip producers, and chip designers must collaborate. Encouragement of alliances and partnerships among existing enterprises can help distribute production capacity and reduce dependency on a single organization. Governments can also play a significant role in fostering the growth of local and regional semiconductor enterprises by providing money, infrastructure improvements, and favorable laws. This includes funding for research into new materials, cutting-edge manufacturing techniques, and alternative chip fabrication technologies. By encouraging innovation and supporting emerging technology, the sector can reduce its reliance on a single dominant entity. Expert evaluations and cautions have been issued based on this. According to Brad Martin, head of the National Security Supply Chain Institute at the RAND Corporation, Taiwan's dominance in the semiconductor industry may actually render it more vulnerable rather than acting as a silicon shield. Industry experts think that TSMC may eventually need to diversify its business operations for reasons other than geopolitics. The firm is already having trouble finding the thousands of engineers needed for its ever-expanding fabs. Another concern is Taiwan's ability to continue increasing chip manufacturing with adequate water and electricity supplies. On the other hand, Washington is working to diversify semiconductor manufacturing away from Taiwan. The Pentagon, the United States Department of Defense headquarters building in Arlington County, Virginia, has long been concerned that the United States' reliance on Taiwan could jeopardize its defense industry's chip supplies. Last year, Eric Schmidt, the former Google CEO, who chaired a National Artificial Intelligence Commission, stated that the United States was very close to losing the cutting edge of microelectronics that power our companies and our military due to our reliance on Taiwan. Now, the chip scarcity caused by the pandemic disruptions, Washington's aim to limit China's pursuit of technological leadership and fears that Beijing could seize Taiwan by force are all fueling U.S. efforts to restore domestic semiconductor manufacturing. Europe, Japan, Singapore, and India are all making comparable initiatives. While TSMC's dominance in advanced chip manufacturing has moved the semiconductor industry forward, it is not without risks and problems. The concentration of power has ramifications for competition, potentially limiting options and impeding innovation. When relying largely on a single company, supply chain vulnerabilities exist, as disruptions in its operations can have cascade impact across other industries. To address these concerns, it is critical to foster a diverse semiconductor sector through collaboration, R&D investments, and the establishment of alternative chip manufacturing businesses. By doing so, we can build a more robust and innovative industry that can meet the changing demands of our technologically driven world. So, how about you? Do you believe TSMC's dominance in the semiconductor business is beneficial or harmful to a competition and innovation? Are there any potential hazards or negatives to TSMC's dominance that we didn't cover in this video? Is there any upcoming technology or company that you believe has the potential to challenge TSMC's dominance in the future? Finally, considering TSMC's current supremacy, what are your forecasts for the future of the semiconductor industry? We definitely would love to hear your thoughts. This is Tech Genius at Work. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more videos.